this replacement panel doesn't have that feature in it. Yeah, it doesn't lift up like what you see here. You know, this is coming along here, and then it goes up and across and down, and we have our 2 spot wells. So that has to be put into that panel. Yeah. Yeah, I might actually knock that up now to 1.2 actually. Yeah, just a little, it's a fraction hotter, right? Key, that's the key number there, 57 amps. Yeah, and that's all you need. I have the old well set there. It'll do exactly the same job, you know, a little cheap well set. It'll do exactly the same job. And you saw, that was a split second, right? So I'll show you what that looks like, guys. I can't get too close up with this camera, but it'll definitely give you an idea of what we're talking about. Yeah, so that's the little tack I just dropped there now, and there isn't, as you see, I'm putting my finger on it. Okay, so there isn't a great amount of heat, and the reason was it was a split second. Everything is lined up okay. I'll tap this in, you know, and bring it out. You can still, you know, like this is about 4 inches, okay? So you can still manipulate or tap down or close your gap. I'll come in the middle after at 2 inches, okay? So in the last video you saw us cut out these pieces, yeah? If you remember, this triangular piece here. And basically what we've got to do is get a measure from here, from the bottom inside here, to the top, yeah? And that's the same from here, inside here, to here, and mark it. I've gone and I've inked up this whole area so that we can see the line that we mark, yeah? Just makes it a little easier to see. Again, we measure down here, yeah, before we get into this area, because this area here needs to be cut and lifted a little bit to suit the bracket inside. There's the bracket for the window winder. So like you saw me, taking these measurements, yeah? Basically it's just taking the measurements again. So that would be here. And I get 34 millimeters. So, and we want to leave about 1 mil as well, yeah? Always add 1 millimeter. You can always shave it off after, but so now we just connect the dots basically. Now if I stay on the top of that line up to up here, yeah, we've got a little extra, just to be safe, because we can't add it on after, right? You can never add it on afterwards, but you can grind it off. Okay. Check our measurements again. I'll do that off cam and make sure that this is right. Yeah, because once we cut this, okay, it's cut and that's it then. So we just make sure, make 100% sure. I'll also knock this off now. Yeah, take this out as well. The 2 spot welds. Yeah, that's your bracket that I tried to show you in the last. Yeah, it was a little bit more difficult. Now we've opened up and you'll see more. Yeah, and that is, as you can see now, that's the bracket for your window winder. Yeah. And it doesn't it connects here via 2 plug welds as well, or spot welds, yeah? So that holds it to that, and yeah, that comes up to that like that, just sits there, and then plug welds on the bottom side of this guy. Okay guys, so that was the piece on the inside, okay? Spot welded. You can see where it was, yeah? And I've also now separated the 2 pieces, yeah? So we have that, yeah? It gives you an idea just by looking at it. I've trimmed off the piece we need, yeah? So you see that piece there, right? 1 second guys. You see that piece? You see that piece there, look? Yeah? So this is for a later door, basically, because we wouldn't have had that. If you look here, you see, it would be about here. So if you have like a 70s, I don't know, 72, 73 onwards, it has it. This would be the inside of your door. Yeah, it would have this piece going up, but the older door just had that cut out there, right? So what I've done is we've separated the pieces, yeah, and we're getting there. So now we have this guy almost sitting in, yeah, and it's just to fine tune this piece now, trim him up yeah, and get him to slot in. So what we're doing is we'll be trimming up like you see on that side there. And I'll show you once I get it fettled and sitting in properly, yeah. We've this piece to do here. So now we've got to just clean up the edges, right? And we'll be going for a trim then around here as well, yeah? Maybe cut off some of this here as well, yeah? So, but we've got to get this all this burr off and get it ready for welding. Okay guys, I hope you can see what I've been trying to do there, yeah? So I'll just take you off. This takes quite a while. It's like getting it to fit, yeah? So between all the black lines, I don't think you can see, you know, it's hard to make out which is which. But basically you can see it there, yeah? You see? So, and just getting them to marry up, yeah, in the right there, yeah, like that. So I'll continue on fettling, okay, and when we've got it in the right position, you know, that's basically what I'm doing. So you saw how I achieved this. I measured from in here in the gully, let's call it, yeah, or in this return, up to the line. I scribed a line. I blued it first, all at the bottom of the door, yeah. Now the bottom of the door was rotten, and that's why I decided, yeah, that has to come out. So, and this is how I repair this, yeah. You know, it'll be like this, guys, when it's done. You know, you won't know that it's been put in, yeah. So yeah, I'll continue on with it until I kind of get it right, and all you do is you take a little bit off at a time until you get the perfect, yeah, fit up. And as you can see along there, yeah, we're pretty close, yeah. So, but again, I'll spend another half an hour or whatever, you know, it'll be about a half an hour. This is slow, guys, this work, yeah, to get it to fit perfectly without, you know, without too much pressure on anything, yeah. So I've got another little bit to take off of this corner here now, yeah, and to let it down to where it needs to go, yeah. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm taking a bit off at a time until it marries up with the existing. So you decide, you know, if you want to take it off of here, off the door side, or off the repair side, yeah. I was happy enough with what I had done with the door initially, you know, coming around the corner, etc. So once I had those lines, I pretty much stayed to those lines, yeah. So you see what I'm talking about? Maybe it's hard to see. I think there, look, you see what I'm saying? So that's the line I'm talking about. I was happy enough with that, yeah? And that all needs, the burr needs to be taken clean out of that as well. There's a burr along there, yeah? And in underneath here. So scrape all that and get all that out, yeah? You can hear it on my finger. So, you know, keep taking this down, this corner here, until it matches this, yeah? So there's a bit to come out here, you can see that. There's a bit to come off here. So I'll just do that with the flap on the grinder, yeah? Yeah. And just a little bit at a time until it fits in nice. We know that the line all along here should be good, yeah? I mean, it was put in straight enough, yeah? So you'll see two little lines there, and it's the bottom one that I was working from. And you can still see the bottom line there, so I've left the line. So I kept it short on the piece that I was cutting out, and then when I was cutting this piece, I stayed above it. So that gives us a mil and a half of extra meat that we can file, if you like, or just sand down, yeah? Even with the flap, you just go along where it's a little bit high, and then we get the perfect fit or piece. And that's basically how it's done, yeah? So, like I said, the measurements are crucial. 3 points. When we come to put the skin on, the door skin, on the outside, we know that it's got to be 48. And it's got to be 52.5. And it's got to be 39 mil here, yeah? So, that's it. I'll continue on fettling with this, and then I'll get to the stage of tacking, just tacking it in, and I'll get you back then, yeah? Because like I said, you know, I'm going to be just keep taking little bits. That's how it's done though, you know, you just keep taking little bits until it sits in there nice for you, yeah? Okay, I think you can make that out a little bit better now, guys. Yeah? So what I've done there is just put the 2 cuts on it. You saw me doing that. And that goes down there onto that bracket, yeah? And I was saying as well, if you don't do that, then your dimensions are going to be wrong, okay? Because there is about 3 mil of a depression on that. So it has to be pressed. You saw I cut it and I hammered it down and kind of dressed it up a little bit. But if you don't do that, and it doesn't come like that, but originally it would have been like that, yeah? That's the point. And if you just sat, you know, this height here on there, sitting on there, then it would be wrong. Yeah, it would be too wide, basically, right? And you'd lose your critical dimensions on the door. So that allows it to go down around it. Yeah. When it's in position, and it's going to get plug welded. Yeah. The 2 little plug weld holes, you can see them there. And I've cleaned underneath, right? If I can get this out again. Really good fitment. But yeah, you can see I've cleaned the 2 plug welds, where the plug welds are going to go, and this little piece is hold, yeah, to accept the plug weld. I've done the same here on the corner piece. As you can see, there's 2 holes on the panel as well. Yeah, on the corner. And the door frame coming down along here is already, yeah, like I said, it wasn't too bad. So we left that piece, right? Which, yeah, that's the stronger corner, right? Don't know if I've shown you this or not, but this was the corner piece, okay? Like I said, it's about 0.9 of a millimeter, yeah? So really light in comparison to the original. Now that's pretty much what you're looking at there, yeah? Like this, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Just drilled out the spot welds, you saw me doing that, etc. So now, I think I'm happy enough. I've done a lot of fettling with this, right? And they're never going to be perfect, okay? So, like I said, this is our approach here. We're keeping the bottom lip on here, right? So that meets up with that there, yeah? And it'll get welded all along, up along here. Obviously along, you'll see me go through that now, but the fitment is nice, yeah? So we've been fettling away at it. And as you can see, it's kind of... Now there was an issue on this corner, right? So this is something you need to be aware of. Even though that's really good fitment all along there, yeah? As you can see. I'll just leave it up to it. I'm pushing it down at the moment, but when I leave it up, it's a nice... Yeah, we've got a nice joint going along there, okay? Which is what we need. But what you will find with these panels, and these are the panels that are internationally sold. This is it here, look, if you didn't see the first video, right? And we cut the bottom off of it, which is this piece here, yeah? And now look, when we have this in the right position, you see how we're confronted with this, yeah? That's way off. So I've had to add a little bit on here, yeah, about 5 or 6 mil, a triangular shape across here, out to nothing there. So that's about 1/4 of an inch here. But that's so that I can actually look, as I bring it down, so that these lips down here actually meet, yeah, that they're flush, if you know what I'm saying, like there. That's flush now at the bottom, but there wasn't enough height on it up here. So I've addressed that off camera, put it into about like 6 mil, so a little piece. Now it's doing the same thing on the other side, right? So these are the kinds of things you have to deal with. If you remember, I put a little cut in here to relieve it so that I can get it to go down, right? To fit there like I showed you. And these are the things. It needs to come up obviously there. That's more or less the position of it now. Yeah. Let's see if you can get a better look at that. Can you see that now? Yeah. That'll go like that. And of course it needs to come a little bit this way, yeah. But I've and again here at the corner, right? To give you an idea. I don't want to be hiding nothing from you, so you can see what's involved. Okay? So it was kind of like this. Yeah? But I've put a cut here in the corner to relax it so that I can actually push it down to where it really needs to be. So we have our 2 holes here. And we have our 2 holes here. And look, you can see how that sits up, you know. But when it's in position then, and when I've, like you see now, I've welded on a little piece onto it. And I had to, because like that's the way it was, guys. If you watch this line here and then this one, you see it's pressed square. And the actual it's a replacement piece, obviously, but the original wouldn't have been pressed like that. Yeah, but it's pressed square, and anyway, you're going to find this. You're going to get this with that panel. You know, I mean, this has to be right, right? That has to be right along there, yeah? And to get that right, you're short up at top. So that's why I had to put that little piece in. And the rest of the fit up I'm happy enough with, yeah? So what I'm going to do now is, again, take it out. Right. Yeah. I'm going to weld up those little bits now and dress them up. Then spray the inside, right? Again, the same as I did the rest of the paneling along here. And then we're going to just weld it up then, and you'll see the process of that. What you can see there is I've just took off the paint off of the face, the 1mm face, what I'm going to be welding, yeah? And just a little tiny 1/2 mil along there, yeah? I don't know if you can pick that up, but like it's tiny, yeah? But it aids in welding, you know, when we're welding to the bottom of the door, okay? So we have clean metal on this side. We have our primer. As you can see, it's zinc primer, yeah? And now you can actually see as well, maybe better, you'll see how it sits down, right? And up. I keep referring to it, but it's critical. Because if you don't do this, you know, yeah, your dimensions are wrong by about 3 mil, you know, and you add whatever else might go wrong, and the next thing you know, you're like, that's 1/4 inch is 6 mil. So, yeah. It's important to try and, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's in there. Okay, so yeah, you can't weld paint. I keep saying it, guys. I'll probably get a t-shirt, yeah? You can't weld paint. Them's the rules. That's how you get it done. There's no skill in just pulling the trigger. There really isn't. Yeah, there's no skill at all in pulling the trigger. It's about getting the perfect joint, yeah? And I've already shown in previous videos, right, that penetration on 1mm, it's obvious you're going to get penetration. You don't have to worry about penetration. Don't even worry about it, yeah? It's just when you have two metals of both the same thickness like that, closing together like that, and you put a spot, right, or a tack, yeah, I guarantee you it's coming out the other side, right? So that's the beauty of it, you know. Yeah, it doesn't have to be messy, you know. No paint. This will probably flash a little bit now, but 1.1, so that means 1 millimeter thick. I have it set for 1.2, or sorry, 1.1. Yeah, I might actually knock that up now to 1.2 actually. Yeah, just a little, it's a fraction hotter, right? It's synergic, right? But it's irrelevant. That's the key number there. 57 amps. Yeah. And that's all you need. I have the old weld set there. It'll do exactly the same job, you know. A little cheap weld set. It'll do exactly the same job. Obviously you have to manually set it and all, but you know, I'll do a video on that sometime. Okay guys, I've put my first tack in here, right? Just take some of the strength out of it, yeah? Now this is up at the minute, okay? I'll just show you that so you get to know when and if you're doing this, you know, beetle door repair. You can see now that that's sitting up and we're way off here, yeah? But we'll be able to get it down, yeah? Or we won't be able to get it down, we'll see. But I know we'll get it down, yeah? It has to go down. Now, this is important all along here that we get this right, yeah? And closed. And then we'll just, you know, tack it every so often. That's what you're going to see me do. Yeah? And we've got our two spot welds, plug welds, beg your pardon, plug welds in there. And we'll carry on. We'll work our way. Might start in the middle and work out. Yeah? I want to get one on here anyway where, you know, make sure we're right here, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Good fit up, yeah, is essential. And that's why I spent a long time just fettling and making sure everything is perfect. So you can see there now, yeah? You can't even see the joint really, you know? But it needs to be like that, yeah? And then you get a perfect finish. And you know, you get the perfect repair. I take the knob off the top of the wire if the wire is cold, yeah, which it is at this pace. It's a little cold, so and you saw that was a split second, right? So I'll show you what that looks like, guys. I can't get too close up with this camera, but it'll definitely give you an idea of what we're talking about. Yeah? So that's the little tack I just dropped there now. And there isn't, as you see, I'm putting my finger on it, okay? So there isn't a great amount of heat. And the reason was, it was a split second. Everything is lined up okay. I'll tap this in, you know, and bring it out. You can still, you know, like this is for 4 inches, okay? So you can still manipulate or tap down or close your gap. I'll come in the middle after at 2 inches, okay? This wants to come out a little bit. You can see I'm pushing it out with my finger. Don't know if you can make that out or not, but you know. So I'll come back here. That again will be about 4 inches from that one. That's 4 inches. So I'll go another 4 inches and I'll just go along like that until I get up to the end, okay? So I just wanted to show you that and say that's, you know, a split second and there's no heat, you know. It's actually gone cold now. So, and that's because I put it up to 1.2, okay. 1.2. Okay guys, I'll just show you that, yeah, what I've been at. That's what I've kind of just done there. This one maybe. I'm jumping along because I'm seeing. Anyway, principally it's kept cool, okay? So you can see that's a good inch long, okay? Same here. Same here. About an inch long, inch and a quarter even. Same here, yeah. And again here, starting to build this corner in, yeah. And like I said, look at the black and the smoke. It's. I'm not welding paint. I'm just saying, you know, the paint actually I've cleaned. You know, you can see, right? You can see, it's clean. But even you know, that distance there, right, from the joint, which is just here, yeah. That's a couple of mil there, right? 3 or 4 mil. And the paint, look at it, it's still, you know, it still burns. So, and that's like 4 or 5 mil away from the actual weld. So that's my point, you know. It don't matter what you put on, guys. It's gonna, if you're gonna weld, right, it's gonna burn off, okay? And you'll have contamination. That's why you saw me taking the little bit off when you saw me doing the backside, the primer, yeah? Just the little bit, so that where you're actually arcing and where you're welding, that's clean. That's the most important, you know, that there is no paint right up to the edge and on the face, the 1 mil face that I showed you I was cleaning, right? Which is that face in there, right? That's what it is. The two faces, there's no paint in there. And even on this one, I've taken just on the side of the wheel, I've just taken along the edge. So a mil doesn't have any primer on it on the inside of that. But like I said, it had only burn off anyway. So, you know, that's just to understand it deeper, right? What's going on here. Anyway, about an inch, yeah, along. And you'll see me doing some of that now and you'll see how that goes. Put you back on your perch, guys. Okay. Clean wire. Have your air, yeah, if you can. Try and keep it cool. Or else shorten your little welds and stay well away from the last one. Example is one here, one down here, yeah? Can you see all that? I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see that, right? Just go back a little bit, guys. Yeah. So, clean wire. Again, the idea of cleaning the wire, guys, is because if you have a blob on there, and you will have, every time you do a weld, you'll have a blob. It's okay to go weld another tack if the blob is still red. But if the blob is dry and hard, then that's like rusty metal on the end of your wire. And for this precision work, lose that habit. You know, clean your wire, especially on the first tack, the first one, because you'll see there's resistance there, and that's the resistance. So then it's the second attempt to get your perfect spot in, and you won't get that spot in perfect unless you have clean wire. Yeah, I've always said this, but like, yeah, it's worth keeping that in mind. And then you get nice little, you know, a nice little a bead of dimes or tacks. Yeah. So we'll try here again. See, it's instant, and then you just follow along with 5, 6, 7 tacks. Even more. And that was only to get me to the next tack, really. Yeah, and then cool. Still hot. That's it. Do another one. Same thing, guys. Clean the wire. I'll run here now to there, yeah? About an inch. See, it's instant. I don't know if you were counting those, guys. Maybe you were. Right? I'll show you this now. Just lukewarm now. Okay, just to show you again, so you get to see what you can do with what I'm saying, right? So there you go, look. That's what we're looking at. Yeah? I started here, there was a tack here, right? At the very beginning, just like there. And I just laid the first one down on top of it, gave it a second to heat up the metal around it, and then laid the second tack down on top of that, which is now the third tack in that area, really. And then the next one down on top of that, just moving along in front of it. Half and half really is what you'd want to be if you want to practice that, okay? So you put a tack down and then you come just there. Yeah? Half again with the next tack. And you're laying them down on top of each other. Yeah? And you're creating enough heat around the weld area that you've got penetration. And I've shown that. If I use the start clip again on this video, you'll see it. I call it out. That's the backside penetration on that. If you watch it, yeah? You'll see it. Now, guys, in fairness, right, there's very little. Okay, I'll get some little bit of light on that. It might help. Yeah. There's very little to do there as regards, right? As regards dressing that up. Very little work. So you're saving yourself all the time by these tips and tricks. Yeah? No paint. You can't well paint. Okay. And like I say, clean the wire initially at your first tack. And then you like wait a second, let it heat the area, and then drop your second tack half and half, 50% over it again. And that's stacking dimes, they call it. Yeah? And that's what that is, stacking dimes. So you're putting one down on top of the other. Just half. Yeah. Now I'm going to continue on, guys, closing it in. You can see it's coming along. Yeah. But yeah. And then we'll get to these ends. Okay. I'll be able to pull it down without affecting this too much. Okay. I might even tap that up just to hold that in place fully, even though it's held in place there. Look. Yeah. So, you know, yeah. Don't want to bring this out so much that it's it's making, because the skin will come on after up against this, and if this is pushed out down more, then the door is actually getting larger when we do that. See, you can see that, I hope. But yeah, now it can always be hit back, but we don't want to be hitting anything. Yeah. Okay. I'll continue on welding for a while, guys, and yeah, I'll bring you back again. Okay guys, so just to explain what I'm at here, right? And what I'm doing is, you can see that the bare weld is there, right? The way the weld was put in. And as we go down, so this is like kind of getting towards a finish now, yeah? That's just got to be nicely dressed now afterwards, right? There's a small little bit here, right? That is actually finished. Yeah? Well, those two lines are there. There's a small little bit of finishing to do on it, but basically that's, you know, that's what we're doing. We're taking down the weld, right? And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a lip, right? I'm down to about a 1/2 mil. So there's a 1/2 mil of weld left on there still, yeah? 3/4 of a mil even, okay? It mightn't look it on there, but believe me, there's 3/4 of a millimeter of weld along there. And you can see as we go back further, the weld is actually getting bigger, you know, more pronounced, right? Yeah. And I'll just continue on back along, right, at the stage 2 type of thing. That's what I'd call a stage 2, yeah. And then we'll get it down to this finish, right? With the 4-inch grinder, the flap disc, right? I'll take it down more, okay, down to like something like this here, whereby it's a 1/2 mil left, and then I'll finish it, kind of finish it with the finger sander, right? Finger grinder sander, and that'll take us down to this, yeah. And then I'll just round it and make it nice. And that's the final finish on the, I've put the welds in here for the plug welds, yeah. So that whole corner is rock solid. I've still got to do the 2 plug welds in here, right? But I needed to plug my compressor in, so yeah, ran out of air. I'll bring you back in a while and you'll see, yeah. So there you have it, guys, another one out of the way. Not completely finished, obviously, but a damn sight closer than it was, right? And yeah, the second door isn't as bad as this one was, okay? So there's less to do on the second door. But I say that now, but then again, as usual, right? You won't know until you get into it. It's the usual, yeah? Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Please like, share, subscribe, and all the good stuff, right? And I'll see you in the next one, yeah? Bye from me and Buster. Ciao.